incels are very close. Oh, Jackson's in VC. Let's get Jackson in here. Okay.
Oh no.
So we're gonna need to get RTSG in here as well,
What is-
and we're gonna send Jackson here. Jackson, hello.
What's good? Who is it?
Huh?
Who's talking?
That's what do you mean? It's me.
Oh, what's up?
It's Hayes.
Wait, did I get dragged somewhere?
You're live. Did you want to be live?
Can you see my face?
No.
Okay.
Did you want to be live?
Am I live?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good to be live.
Okay. So I'm gonna bring in the leader of the post-incel movement, and that's August. So I'm bringing in August. Okay. And we're gonna so it's gonna be 2 infracells and 1
Me?
1 Taliban.
I can only talk for a little bit, but
Okay.
I'm down to talk.
Nadia is a Taliban incel anthropologist.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's bring on the leader of the post-incel movement.
Hello.
Hello, August.
Yeah, what's up? Can you drag up give me a second. I need to like fucking mute the stream. Can you drag up like Hedyarist as well? Because
Okay, Hedyarist can come.
that's like having Marx without Lenin, you know.
Okay, fine.
Batman,
Hedyarist.
Batman without Robin.
All right,
you know?
fine. Hedyarist and August.
Yeah,
Wait, I
yeah,
gotta
what's
say
up?
one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim
So-
Pool just took the biggest L I've ever seen in my
What
life.
happened? Can you tell me what happened? I don't know what you meant by that before.
Bro. So like Ye and Nick and Milo were on the stream with
Yeah.
Luke and Tim. And like Tim was on his annoying ass Fed shit again. And then he's like, well, I just don't understand what you're talking about with you're making this an individual issue and you're saying it's an individual issue and trying to assume it's a societal issue of, Jewish control. And we're not going to talk about that right now. But then like Kanye just kept like trying to explain himself. And then Tim was just being such a fucking little Fed. And then Kanye just got up and left. And they had like 95,000 people watching.
What?
And Tim was being such a fucking
Was
idiot.
Nick and Milo still there, or did they leave with Kanye?
They left, bro. It was like Lex Friedman all over again.
How long did that last?
I was watching for about like maybe like I don't know, like maybe 15 minutes or something.
Holy
bro,
shit. All right, I'm going to
was-
react to that later. We're going to react to that together later.
Bro,
Yeah.
and Ye was like, oh, like I'm gonna talk about LeBron. He didn't even get to talk. I wanted to hear that because I hate LeBron. I'm a Lakers fan, but I hate LeBron, and they didn't even get to that.
Jesus Christ. Holy fuck. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Well, anyways,
August, go ahead and
let's get
give us a synopsis of post-incel
Alright.
theory.
Oh, this is pretty good. All right, so
And
This
raise
is
your
kinda like a
fucking
simple-
volume, dude. The fuck?
give me a second. Hold on. Usually works pretty well. Do you have me at like a lower volume or something?
Okay, you're good,
Is
you're
it
good.
off now?
Perfect. You're good.
Okay. Well.
Yeah,
Gentlemen.
perfect.
And lady, I guess we can get into this. So we all know what an incel is, right? Obviously, I don't have to explain that. There's a couple of terms, you know,
You're saying
like
it's too loud now. Oh, no, you're fine. Keep it how you are.
all right.
I'm gonna put yours
You could just
down.
lower me a little bit. All right. So we all know what an incel is, right?
Yeah.
And we all know what a non-incel is, of course.
Yeah.
And basically, post-incel is not incel. It's not like directly necessarily even about that, like in a relational sense, right? It just is there because it's recognizing that the duality between like a incel and a non-incel itself is like very arbitrary or whatever, you know? So we say like post-incel because we
Bro, I don't
in a
know.
s-
Like, what are you saying right now? I don't know.
Shut up, man. Shut up. Listen. Basically, what an incel is obviously something we all know. And we're not saying that we are incels, okay? Fundamentally, the whole point of even this whole thing, and I will write a bigger thing about it and explain it in a more deeper sense, is essentially recognizing that dating itself, right? It's we are not incels. We're people who just read incel stuff and we gained some knowledge from it, but we went past it, right? Or post-incel. Dating itself is a homosexual invention, right? Not to be against LGBT stuff or whatever, of course TOS, but dating itself is evil, right? And people don't understand the difference between courtship and dating, because people conflate the two. It's very much like within the big the interest of the big parties. Dude, courtship is basically doing it through some kind of like official, communally recognized process that involves like different actors that have like higher.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yes, right.
Give me an example. You're big.
Like Jackson, like an arranged marriage. Like in
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go to the girl's parents, right?
Yeah.
And you introduce yourself to the dad, and you say, "My name is so and so. Here I am," etc. The thing is, this is what the dickheads in like basically almost every industry want you to think. They want you to think that dating and courtship are the same, or even more insidiously, that dating is better. It's better that you go out and you wander into the forest, and you may find someone else there, and it just like happens to be like that. Like that's literally like what they want you to think. And objectively, scientifically, because we're men's science, we're into men's science, right? We recognize this to be completely false and evil, because it leads young men astray. It leads young
So
women
can you explain the thing about how dating is inherently homosexual?
Yeah, okay. So basically, right, when we think of something, when usually, like if you observe like the LGBT history, right, what we notice is basically, especially within the 20th century, is that LGBT has always been more associated with promiscuity, and what is dating in the modern sense? It is literally entirely also based around promiscuity. Basically, what is happening is that people take the patterns of behavior that homosexual men, usually and it's men, right, or women or whatever, have, and basically they take those patterns of behavior and then they apply them to basically young heterosexual couples in societies across the world or whatever. They export them through like media and shit. It's very like organized. It's the same groups. Now you talked about the people who fund like LGBT groups and all that kind of stuff. The same people are basically interested in subverting this process, creating this process.
I think that's just like the creators of Tinder are the same people who created the LGBT movement.
I mean, essentially, because Tinder is a spin-off of Grindr, which is a gay app. Like that's just.
That's true. That's very
same mechanic.
Okay.
Yes, it takes the same mechanic and just applies it to heterosexual people, and now you are made to hate the abstraction of the thing, which is basically like Tinder. People say, "Oh, Tinder made dating bad." No, dating made dating bad. Tinder is literally like just a front. It's just like it's the lizard man wearing a mask, and he's laughing at you because you think the mask is bad. And it's like, no, dude.
So what is the post-incel truth?
The post-incel truth is something of the future, but it's also of the past, which is essentially recognizing courtship as the primary and ideal form of finding a mate in life.
But what about the thing? I agree with that. But what about the thing
Yes.
you used to tell me, where you said like ugly males who are like.
That is true. Okay, all right. We
explain
can
that.
this, right?
Connect that, because I'm confused about that.
Okay. Right. So, for instance, people would say that. Now, okay, this is the usual orthodoxy, right? Oh, if you're like a tall guy who has like big broad shoulders and you're like a Giga Chad or whatever, women will like you more because they're more attracted to you, right? And whilst that might be true for specific demographics, usually younger women, and for specific types of relationships, like short-term stuff, usually that is not what leads to having a easily securable, quote unquote, long-term relationship, right?
So
If you
August,
look
what do
into
you think about the
yes,
theory though that
yes,
the reason young women what do you
yes,
think about the Evo Psych angle where it's that I don't believe in Evo Psych, but you
yeah.
can't really disagree much with this idea, like at least vaguely, that it's like, okay, young women in their
Yes.
early 20s are more fertile, so they're gonna go and they're gonna seek out short-term relationships with giga chads to have babies with them and then make cucks raise those babies, and it's biological.
Well,
What do you think about that?
well,
What's
the
your
thing is,
rebuttal?
my rebuttal to that would be that, like, even if they're like attracted to them, this whole process doesn't like play in reality. This is not a natural process that is playing in reality, because those women don't have like kids with these guys and then they try to like find the quote unquote like cuck male or whatever to raise
Yeah, but like
them.
those instincts are what's
Mhm.
driving their behavior and their attraction.
I don't think those instincts are
So why do women
necessarily
want only short-term relationships with a giga chat then?
exactly. It is purely media training. It is acting
Oh, so you're
on
saying,
behavioral
hold on.
patterns.
So
Yes.
you know what? The woman should probably weigh in a little bit, but not too much,
Yes.
because women shouldn't have
Yes, yes.
opinions, right?
Yes.
But basically, do women seek short-term relationships with giga chads because of raw, like, hormonal attraction, or is it because they think that is what's socially desirable? They're not necessarily hormonally, biologically attracted to it.
Those sound like the same thing.
No, they're not.
No, they're not the
So
same
one
thing.
of them is like,
Absolutely not.
one of them is like when a man's horny
Oh.
and he just wants to go get his nut off, right?
Mhm.
So the woman equivalent to that is like, okay, I'm gonna go seek a giga chad
Mhm.
to like just get my nut off and then move on. Versus I'm just gonna do it because I'm scared of other men because they're not socially validated to me through MTV enough.
I don't know women that. I mean, there are women that do that, but I don't know if we can make a generalization of women that do that. I don't like.
I'm saying,
me-
okay,
no,
okay,
no,
I'm
let-
saying, is there a biological drive by women
a
to
biological.
have short-term relationships purely hormonal?
Sure.
And if they're purely
No.
hormonal, aren't they more likely to seek out a giga chad?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No. Here, you're wrong. So, this is what it is. So, women who are low value women who can't secure a giga chad that can raise a family and have like the proper family structure.
No, Jackson, you're wrong.
Wait, let him finish.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
You didn't even let me.
No, I'm gonna explain it, but go ahead.
Listen, we live in America, and you're saying so these women that can't secure a man, they're going out to try with this media training because they say that they need to have a man and whatever. So they go out and they try to sleep with as many men as possible because they can't get a good man. So they go. It's like, think about it. Think about these girls that you see at clubs in LA. It's like, I'm never, ever, ever going to ever marry any of these women, but would I sleep with them for the night? Sure. And that's just the life that they lead.
Wait,
because
but
they're
Jackson-
low-value women.
Jackson, but what
You
about the
forget
whole
the
point is
aspect.
that the high value
no.
man doesn't have to raise the kids. That's for the cuck.
You forget, no, Jackson is here. for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
part.
Because the high value male. This is the idea. No, this is the actual bird. The actual
listen,
cuckoo
listen,
bird.
listen.
This is the actual cuckoo bird. A strong male impregnates the woman. She gets pregnant, and then the cuck has to raise the
That's not
child,
true.
and he gets to be on a yacht.
You know what's
Yeah.
worse? The seed oils are getting to your head. You know what's worse than being a cuck? being a Satanist, and only Satanists believe that there's no role for an actual father to be in the family structure.
I'm just
Why
playing
do
the
you-
devil's advocate.
why do you-
I'm
why do you-
playing
why
the
do you-
devil's advocate.
No.
I'm playing the devil's
why-
advocate. All right, but let me say something. Zerka once told me something that still sticks with me to
Jesus
this day.
Christ, man.
Come on.
Yes, okay.
I'm playing the devil's advocate, but Zerka did tell me something that sticks in my head to this day. He said one time he went to Walmart and he was walking in Walmart and he saw this dad who was with his family, with like the whole family, like with the carts and everything, like loading up the trunk. And he said that was the most miserable man in the world who gave up on everything, settled down, and didn't become great. And he said legacy and greatness is the most important thing in life. And you never want to be the dad at Walmart. And Zerka literally, he told me, this is something he told me. He literally pointed at me and he said, the way you're going right now, you're going to be that dad.
So
And that stuck with me to this day.
So
That was like a year ago.
Opinion discarded. You're taking the advice of a Mendaloid who believes in genes, and then you're saying, okay, so if you
Hey! I do not, Jackson. I do not tolerate slandering Zerka without you calling my sheikh. Take that back.
If you want to have an empire and be a great man, as Zerka puts it, then have 14 little Hinkles that run around and build the Hinkle empire. You know,
Are there 14 Hickles running around in LA?
Here's the red pill. Here's the red pill. Okay, all the greatest men of history didn't have that many siblings, but that's not. All the greatest men of history didn't have that many siblings. Okay, so your 14 Hinkles, they're just gonna be retards.
They had a lot of children. Trump, Genghis Khan.
Dude, they maybe have
Yeah, but they didn't raise them. They didn't raise those kids. The eunuch raised them. Genghis Khan's kids were raised by the eunuch. He didn't even raise them. He was busy.
Jackson, you're expecting on a lottery. You're expecting on a lottery for your kids.
Hinkle. You're both kind of being like regarded right now, right? Because you're forgetting two things here. Okay, going back to your club example, right? About like the pretty girls at the club, you might like sleep with them, etc. You're forgetting two aspects here that are very important. One, you yourself are psyop, right? The psyop does not only apply to women or young women. It also applies to men, young men, etc. Two, clubs inherently are homosexual environments. Okay,
I agree.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you are seeing basically the patterns of homosexuality being imposed yet again in another environment on heterosexual males and females that are young and impressionable.
Because
by
I'm
things
like,
media and environment.
no. Because whenever, so I live in a constant, homosexual city of Los Angeles. It is Satanism on full display.
Unfortunate for you.
I'm here on the inside, like an agent on the inside, extracting what I want when I want.
Okay. Listen, guys. I have a question. Okay, for August. What about the thing where you said? How does this relate to this thing where you said the most ugly, pathetic male will get the girl? Can you explain that? Thank you, Peach.
It's more common for women to get desperate and have kids with a loser and then have buyer's remorse.
The reason why
that's not better, though.
All the hormone stuff exists and all that kind of shit or whatever. It's not necessarily just like they're not subverting the dynamics just to subvert the dynamics. They're subverting the dynamics ultimately for the purposes of population control, etc. Right? Now,
no, what is the reason the ugly male gets the girl? Can you explain that?
Here's the reason. Because the ugly male, right, and it's not necessarily just him being ugly, right? It is like, we call it Oofy-doofy, right? It is like a schlubby guy who's not too motivated, who's not too driven or too assertive, who's kind of skinny fat or whatever, and he's this type of character. Why does this guy get the girl, you might ask? You literally gave an example of this guy, like, Zerka described to you. This guy gets the girl. Why? It is because the women, young girls, whatever, since birth, since childhood, are basically the ones who, in the future, will basically lead society. And up until now, they're basically being primed to take the male role. That is why, and I recommend everyone you do this, go to your local gym, look around. What do you see? You will see guys doing like retarded shit. You will see guys like basically playing with their phones or whatever. And then you will see like the women I mean, yeah, they're like lifting for Instagram or whatever. Who cares? But they're like lifting much heavier stuff. They are far more, they're going for it. They feel it much harder or whatever, and they probably have more testosterone in their body compared to the dickheads next to the machine or on the machine playing with their phones. Okay, women are taught and being put in the masculine, assertive, strong role, and this is why the other guy will get the women because she will basically be in charge of everything.
All right, so
That
you're
is-
saying
she's
so you're
assuming.
just giving up then. You're basically saying men should not even try to
No, I'm
rein
not.
in on women.
No.
We
I
should
only
just-
did pause. Hayes, you fucking. This is a classic Lebanese Arab.
What
shit,
about the
okay?
Taliban?
Pause. All I did was just give a descriptive statement, a descriptive claim, and you asserted prescriptive actions and connotations to it. I am not saying you should become that guy. At any point, I never said you should become that guy. All I said was this guy exists and he's objectively, if we are going to use objectively in the sense of like the, biologically reproducing all that shit or whatever, he's objectively quote unquote winning in life.
Okay,
If that's
okay.
not the life you
Let's
want
let the
to have,
woman
that's not
weigh
the
in.
life you want to have.
So what do
So-
you think of Oofy-doofy theory? What is this
Yes.
thing going on?
I think
He's saying, I'm gonna translate this, simplify it so the woman can understand, because women are not smart enough to be on our level.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, he said that women are being girl bosses today, and therefore they just want to settle with like a oofy-doofy kind of guy, like on the side, while they pursue their ambitious career in life. What is your, as a woman who's aware of what's going on in the world of women, what does that mean? What's going on?
Well, I'm really scared to say because I know you're. I'm sitting next to a matriarchy resistor.
Okay, no, say it. Thank you, Adrian, so much.
The media have convinced young women they are all 10s after applying some cheap makeup so they feel entitled to gigachad, but Chad will gladly frick down but won't date down.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
I don't disagree with anything that he's saying. I guess the girl bossing so that you end up with a what was it, an oofy-doofy?
Yeah.
Oofy-doofy male. Exactly. Also, everyone donate, otherwise I'm gonna spank you.
Okay.
Continue.
Oh, thank you,
The
August.
oofy-doofy male is actually winning in life because
Say that to
he.
Caleb.
Oh, wait, can I-
Yeah, continue.
The oofy-doofy male is actually winning in life because he actually doesn't have to do anything at all but be ugly, which is not that hard. Right?
Look,
He has to be
listen.
beta in every sense of the word beta means, So like you just have to like let the woman just like drive the whole thing, do everything that she
Bro.
So
wants.
you're
Essentially-
basically
Bro,
saying,
no.
wait, August,
Okay.
August. What about
Yes.
leftist males? They're not really oofy doofies because they're like, what are they then?
Well, the thing is, the oofy doofy presumes like that this person has like relatively a normal life insofar as that they go to school, they have some friends.
So they're pretty
they
much
have,
like
some
not.
existence.
They're pretty
social
much like
circle.
not like
They're not
politically
ideological.
involved.
No,
They're like a normie.
no. They are non-ideological. The moment you reach ideology, you cannot be oofy doofy unless you like willingly like subscribe out of it. You drop all this shit, you log off, you delete all your accounts, and you go in the real world, and then hopefully, inshallah, in 5 years, you will get a wife.
So ideology, when people enter ideology, that's more they're becoming like.
It's over. It's
Angry.
over for you. Yeah,
That's-
it's over for you.
Is that like angry incel energy, or what is that?
That's you are taking your sexual frustrations and
Yeah.
channeling it into politics.
But where does oofy doofy begin?
You know.
And like, where does oofy doofy begin? And
Yeah.
something like socialism for all end. Where
What
does
the fuck
that?
is socialism for all?
That one guy that. Thank you, Urban Savage.
So
that
he's saying these
40-year-old
highly
virgin guy.
masculinized, socially dominant females want
What is
weak,
a
submissive
40-year-old version?
males?
Thank you so much, Urban Savage. Like, what is?
That's
where
a
does-
weird YouTube channel, bro.
Where does Oofy Doofy begin and Bad Empanada
Yes.
end?
Where does Oofy do? Good question. Okay,
Yeah.
Oofy Doofy will not even know about the concept of a sex bat, whereas Empanada knows about the concept of a sex bat and is a sex bat himself. Therefore, he cannot necessarily become in this moment directly as he is now, the Oofy-doofy, you know?
So Oofy-doofies are kind of like nihilists then, right? In a way?
No. These are people who live very simple lives, right? These are people who live very simple lives. It's not very complicated. They like watching, The Simpsons. They love going to baseball.
I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen this. All right, I've never agreed with you on any of this shit because I've never let you explain it to me because I just talked over you every time we were in VC.
Yeah.
But now that I have to for
dumb,
content and I actually have to hear you out,
Yes.
I have seen that. I've seen women approach the Oofy-doofy. I've seen it.
We're all familiar with this.
I've seen it in LA. I've seen it. Like they just throw themselves at these Oofy-doofy. Because I used to think the Oofy-doofy was like, when you said beta, I was thinking more like in the Johnny Socialism sense. I wasn't thinking of it in the sense of like
these are vicious.
I wasn't thinking of it as like the normie guy who's kind of like doesn't have great posture. He's just kind of chilling. Yeah, he's just kind of chill.
Mediocre normies. Mediocre normies is like another term for it.
T-shirts, some like stupid like square glasses or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Maybe socks with sandals.
The Oofy-doofy thing is real. No, that's a real thing. Okay, now I get it.
No,
No, Ben Norton is not Oofy-doofy because he's political. Oofy-doofy is what I would call the little brother of your best friend, right? The Zoomer little brother of your best friend who's like 21 years old. And, like, he's just, like, a normal guy, but he gets all the pussy, and nobody fucking knows why. And it's because he's an Oofy-doofy, and he's a normie. Okay, I get it now. I get it.
Precisely, right? These are guys who kind of coast through life, in a sense, you know? Their lives, to some degree, are on autopilot, and they have, like, benign, stupid hobbies. Like, for instance, collecting baseball cards.
Yeah,
collecting, like,
they're, like, innocent. Okay, but here's the thing, August.
Yes.
Once you cross the point of becoming like an infracell or an RTSG person, whatever, you can't become the thing is, you cannot become an Oofy-doofy because an Oofy-doofy implies continuity of just being chill your whole life. If you become political or ideological, if you realize the truth of Oofy-doofy pill,
here's the thing.
You can't become an Oofy-doofy. You can't.
You can.
No, you cannot. Dude, you're trying to and you cannot do it. No. It's not possible.
Mind is very plastic, right? If you log off of these things, you stop receiving. all these stimulants.
Dude, people who go out of their way. This is the hill I die on. People who go out of their way to try and be chill. There's always an excess they have to do something with. It's fake. It's inauthentic. You cannot become Oofy-doofy. Oofy-doofies were Oofy-doofies their whole life. You can't. It's like being Jewish. You can't fucking convert to it. You're like born that way your whole fucking life.
Listen. We would not want to associate the Jewish nation with this.
I know, but you can't become Oofy-doofy.
I disagree. Here's how. Right? The mind, as I said, is very plastic, right? And MK Ultra, you can MK Ultra yourself. No. By like actually, yes, you can. It is very possible. I've brainwashed myself into multiple things at multiple times in my life. If there are exercises for this, you could just look this up. You know, Haas is just being skeptical, but listen, Haas, MK Ultra worked, okay? And you can
you can Oofy-doofy yourself only if you go beyond the threshold. You have to have identity self-destruction and like literally become a completely you have to like die subjectively.
Exactly.
Become a completely that's just a hypothetical. I'm talking for the average person. Like for example, hold on. The thing is, you can become a Giga Chad unless you're like you have some abnormal physical defect. You can probably become a Giga Chad, right? All you have to do is hit the gym and like change your outlook on life and take cold showers and do that kind of shit. You can become a Giga Chad. That's possible.
But it also implies a similar depth.
No. To be an Oofy-doofy, you have to fucking go through a ritual of identity self-destruction. To become a Giga Chad, you can like become one. To be an Oofy-doofy,
listen.
You can't slip into a pair of Oofy-doofy pants Whereas you can very
Pace.
easily
Pace, yeah, Pace.
slip into
Shut
a
up, man.
Giga Chad. Thank you
Listen.
so much, ZK.
You cannot become a Giga Chad by going to the gym. It is literally a larger behavioral thing.
I
You have to
know
be
I know,
louder,
but
you have to be more
to
assertive.
adopt.
All
No,
these
I'm gonna
things-
explain it this way. August.
Yes,
To
yes,
become a Giga Chad, you have to
Yes.
adopt something. To become an Oofy-doofy, you have to take away something, which is care. Like, you have to take away a level of mental
you
and
also have
libidinal.
to take-
No, listen.
No.
You have to take away a level of mental and libidinal investment you have in the world and chop that off to become Oofy-doofy, okay? To
Okay.
become a Giga Chad, you have to add, right? So they're completely different things. So when I'm saying the average person, you can't tell people, you can't take the Oofy-doofy
You
pill.
have to also remove things. Listen. When you become a Giga Chad, you also have to remove things. You have to remove all the
Okay,
negative
yeah, I
behavioral
get it,
patterns
but you get the
have.
point.
You have to remove something
Dude,
like
dude.
social
Oofy,
anxiety.
listen. To become a Giga Chad, you have to care about more things. That's easy. To become Oofy-doofy, you have to care about less things. That's extremely hard.
Caring about less things, dude. You also
It's
have
so
to, like,
hard.
listen. When you become a Giga Chad, you also, to some degree, have to care about less things. For instance,
No. Dude.
yes. All your stupid hobbies or whatever. You can't like sit around playing Fortnite 16 hours
Okay,
per day.
dude, becoming an
Social anxiety,
becoming an
so much
Oofy,
stupid
you
shit.
cannot
Yes.
become an Oofy-doofy as easily as you could become the opposite. There's no Andrew Tate. There will never. Okay, let me explain it to you this way, August. August. Let me explain it to you this way.
You're right about this, yeah.
There will never be an Andrew Tate for Oofy-doofies. It's not possible.
Of course, because inherently it is not something that you can like consciously promote.
That's what I mean.
Like,
That's exactly
in a
what I
mass
mean.
sense. Yeah, okay.
That's
okay.
why it's harder.
we
That's
agree.
That's exactly
We
what I
agree.
mean.
Yes, okay. Exactly. So it is essential that like you kind of understand all these kind of characters, all these like it sounds funny or whatever, it sounds mean, but these are things that exist within the world, you know? Like it is the case. And I guarantee if you go out next time, you know, you
Yeah,
play
I know.
a little
I
bit,
understand the Oofy-doofy, but
stand
here's
around,
something I have to
focus on
say.
it.
Oofy-doofies are inherently miserable because when you think about it, when women throw their pussy at them, the women are stealing stuff from them. They're not actually like fucking. They're not enjoying it. They're not like actually expressing their masculine urges and drives and having fun. Women are actually almost, in a sense, assaulting them.
Now we're kind of getting into like a little like rat femme territory. Okay, you know, this is kind of funny
No,
for you. But
women
listen.
are no women.
Mhm.
Women are snatching Oofy-doofies, and
Yes.
like women are fucking them, but Oofy-doofies are not fucking women.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly.
Like
You
like
Oofy-doofy-
someone who has high T can enjoy a woman. You have 5 minute doggy,
Exactly.
whatever. You throw her around. You really dominate her. It's so enjoyable. It's so nice. Whereas women are using Oofy-doofies like they use sex toys, and the Oofy-doofy is pretty much like
precisely.
a
You are
lamb.
not.
He's
if
not
you're
enjoying it.
Oofy-doofy- Yeah, when you're Oofy-doofy, you are not asserting your own like quote unquote subjectivity or whatever on a different person.
Exactly.
It is entirely one direction.
So it's
like,
you may as well just
you
be a virgin or an incel. It's better to be that than be constantly
the
violated.
thing is, okay. Well, here's the thing. You may say that, right? But I've talked to a lot of incels. I've really talked to a lot of fucking incels. Like, I mean, genuinely hundreds of them throughout the years, right? And from what I would say is that they would very much rather that because of how, like, crippling and it weighs on you. Years and, like, prolonged social isolation and kind of, like, lack of motivation.
No,
shitty
being an
diet, bad
incel is
sleep,
no
all
being an
this
incel is
stupid
better.
shit.
Is that what you're saying?
No. They would say from my conversations with them is that they would rather be like a 9 to 5 Oofy-doofy guy.
No,
who,
not
yeah,
true.
yes, they would.
They
Yes,
think
they
that.
would. I
No, they
guarantee you.
think that. Let me tell you something. They think that, but they don't realize that when you're an incel, you still have a chance of being the next Kant. You can still be the next Mozart. You can still be the next Beethoven. You can still be the next genius, right? Doing some stuff in your garage. If you're an Oofy-doofy, you're basically a living corpse. You're confused in life. Women are throwing their pussy at you, yeah, but you're not enjoying it. You're pretty much just getting assaulted, and you're confused. You're left confused.
No.
These
disagree
women,
with this.
these
I
women are
disagree with
jumping on top of you, riding you. They get off, and
Hey.
something happened to your body. You cummed and
Hey.
shit, but you don't understand it. You're confused.
Hayes,
You're getting assaulted basically and violated.
Here's where I would disagree with you, right? They're not enjoying it part, I would disagree with you to some degree, right? After like when they reach middle age or something like that, right? Yes, they probably are not enjoying it at that point. You know, they're looking over at their buddies at the golf club and they're like, or sorry, the billiard. No. Bowling. They play bowling, right? So they're like,
Yeah.
you know, talking to their boys at the bowling club.
No,
and they're like,
Oofy-doofies do not kiss and tell. That's a fact.
No. Here's the thing. They will have this empty feeling. They'll be like, oh, like a lot of movies talk about this, right? Oh, like I'm a middle-aged man and I don't feel accomplished in my life. What have I done or whatever, right? And these are usually oofy-doofy guys. It doesn't catch up to them that basically when you're basically being used by a woman repeatedly for years and years and years, and you have essentially no personality, no existence or whatever outside of this, that it like breaks you or whatever, right? But in the beginning, you know how they treat it? They treat it as, oh, it's better to have something than to have nothing or whatever. And oh, it's just a normal course of life. They don't actually have an understanding of like a better alternative to think outside the box.
You're saying it's the blue
They
pill.
think-
It's the blue
Yes,
pill in the
you don't
Matrix.
question. Yeah, exactly. You don't question it, right? You don't question it. You're just existing.
Yeah, but there's something
as-
always missing in them, and I feel like they do have breaking points.
They middle aged. That
It
usually
does
all these
happen. It
movies-
does happen.
Yes,
They
yes,
do
yes,
break.
right? Not always, but definitely at middle age. Not usually within their early 20s, unless something weirdly traumatic happens to them, or like their best friend from childhood becomes a giga chat.
I'm gonna ask a question from the woman. Alright.
experiential.
So your
chat,
average
sure, go ahead.
woman, would she prefer an oofy-doofy or a man that can really put her in her place and actually conquer her? Which most men can't do, which is why they settle for the oofy-doofy. But
The latter.
you think women would prefer a man that can conquer them?
Yeah, they will never admit it. I mean, most women would. I think the general population of women would admit that.
Yeah.
But the left cells
Well,
would
here's the
pretend
thing.
like they don't actually want that.
Nadia, you're thinking about the women that exist today. I am thinking about the women that exist in 40 years. Okay.
That's
Oh,
gonna
but
exist in 40
no,
years.
No, I think
Wait,
women
Wait,
will-
I want to hear because I'm the anthropologist here.
My friends. Okay, this is it, right? The future, it's kind of a little black pill, maybe even Hiroshima and Nagasaki black pill, like a giga black pill. The future is dark and full of estrogen. If you're a man, the future is dark and full of estrogen. That's basically like the reality of it. You will have, and I promise you this, you will have within our lifetimes a trend within the West, or you know, East Asia, whatever the fuck, right? Of basically young heterosexual males taking estrogen to attract women.
Well, I think that's already happening.
Thank you, DTA.
August,
I promise
that's
you
already
this
happening.
to
will
elaborate
no,
on the
like a
class
big,
character
big,
of
big,
different
like
types of
something
oofy-doofies, 'cause
unspeakably
both us
like
and you are right. They're
kind of
diff
shaking, you know,
classes.
like the kind of thing that like, you know, just crashes like a country or something. It will happen. I promise you. You know.
No,
Look-
August. I think you're deficient in the Department of Dialectics here, because you just assume there's gonna be you know what the pill you're taking, August. It's something called, and Curtis Yarvin talked about this before. It's the Brezhnev pill, which is the future is just going to be more gray and bureaucratic, and it's going to be a slow continuity with the present. It's kind of just this gray future, not something particularly extraordinary, just an addition. You're not thinking of qualitative ruptures where this slow entrance into the estrogenic future. How can you explain the fact that we are witnessing explosions in, for example, the masculine side of thing? Like, first it's Andrew Tate. I don't like Andrew Tate. I agree with whatever. But that's only going to increase. So there's a huge backlash to this feminization that's going on. And that's going to culminate into a Taliban rupture.
Now,
Qualitative
here's
rupture.
what I would say is obviously I don't hope that the future is dark and full of estrogen, you know, but
No, I think you just have that pessimism where you think that it is.
you could maybe say so, but the thing is, I would say that like I am so I guess as a Westerner myself, right? I look around the West, you know, I walk around my town, and all that shit. You know, I look around like the West. There is not a single piece of hope to find within the West. Now, you could say that hope could be found elsewhere, right? And I would maybe agree with you or whatever. Hey, that's not. By the way, that's not me being pro sexpat. Every single sexpat should be.
Wait, we're on YouTube.
In a legal sense, they should be stopped and kept in their country, you know, to save everyone else.
All right.
So basically, listen, what I would say, within the West, you know, I hope that there's hope, but I don't see the hope.
Yeah, but here's the thing, dialectically speaking, if there's hope elsewhere, the West is part of the world, that's interconnected. So you have to see the dialectic of that. Listen, you have to see the dialectic of the concrete and the abstract. The more isolated the West becomes from the rest of the world, the more those premises will catch up to the West. It's like, this is this Pol Pot pill, if you will. Let me introduce the year zero pill to the lexicon, because I don't think you have a conception of year zero in your incel theory.
That's my thing.
No, I'm explaining it. Year zero means like no. It's Ilyenkov Pol Pot pill. It's Ilyenkov and Pol Pot, which is.
I want to read Ilyenkov.
No, listen. Ilyenkov basically said when mankind reaches the highest level of technological sophistication, it has to engage in the lowest act of cosmological self-sacrifice by restarting the universe or restarting the cosmos in some kind of way, right?
Jibber jabber, dude.
Shut the fuck up. Don't use that jibber jabber word to me, okay? Second of all, okay? When we're talking about incel Pol Pot, we're basically dealing with a reset of sexuality, which means the Taliban. So we're going to the most deviant sexuality has become is proportionate to how much more based and rooted it's going to become in real sexual difference. So it's the extremity, right? Like with Pol Pot, the more advanced modern society became, the more simple year zero was. So I think there's going to be a sexual simplicity that is proportionate to the dark estrogenic future you're talking about. That's the incel Pol Pot pill. That means Andrew Tate, who I think has exhausted his significance now, but he's the first step. There's going to be more beyond him. It's going to be a return of basedness. And by the way, Andrew Tate stole everything from me and Zerka anyway, but it's going to be that in that direction. Like it's going to be in the direction of the rebirth of man.
Okay, so let me paint like the battle lines, right? You have like Haas, and he has like the hope pilled kind of like Taliban uprising, right? You know how in the Iran protest they say woman, life, freedom. You know, your side says men, death, dictatorship, right? That's like your
based,
right? You know, shout out Spandier and Hedyarist for that one. Anyways.
Hey, fuck Spandier. I invented that. Fuck him, bro. He stole it from me. That
whatever.
fucking.
Shut up. And my side.
No, you shut up.
My side is this, okay? My side is that the West, the ultimate goal of the West. What is the ultimate goal? It is gender juche. That is like what they are pushing us forward to. At the end of the day, is gender juche. Imagine like Elon Musk's like Mars. What is gonna be there? They want like women. Like with fucking...
All right, well, can I interject? All I can think of when you say gender juche is Kim as a lesbian with a Kim Jong-un haircut who's fat. Can you explain what gender juche is?
What I mean is that they want like womanly self-reliance or whatever to be able to like have a future. Women are in charge of everything and they don't need men for anything. So they would like be able to impregnate.
No, that's August. What you miss, my critique of you is again, it's undialectical.
Like that,
August, what you don't realize, as feminine as society is becoming on the surface, the niche of masculinity, that black hole of masculinity, is becoming. It's becoming more pronounced. It's becoming more pronounced.
Yes, I understand what you said, but I am describing the goal of this society that we exist.
I know, but the goal of this society, just like the Great Reset, it's not actually going to happen. I
hope it doesn't happen.
It can't happen. I'm saying not only will it not happen. Hold on. Not only will it not happen, I'm saying it is impossible for it to happen. Just like, let me explain it to you. A lot of people don't understand this, right? A lot of people think the French Revolution happened because you had an older society and the French Revolution came and made it progressive. But the truth is that the ancien regime, the old French society, was going in a direction that was anything but traditional. And in a way, the French Revolution was like reactionary, saying, no, this is an impossible future. It will not happen. And all revolutions in history are like that. They're reactionary. All revolutions happen in the midst of a huge change that basically humanity rejects.
Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt. So Hayes, stop mansplaining. So what does Nadia think? Or what we need more women to chime in. So what about Jackson?
Wait,
Okay, let the woman speak. Go ahead, Nadia.
I feel like one of the anthropologists in the movie Midsummer.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
That movie is awful, by the way. It is a disgusting display of our culture. Fuck that movie. I will fucking.
I liked it.
It's a garbage fucking movie, dude. It's like, whatever, man. Keep going.
Continue.
No, I think what you said was really interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to look more into Oofy-doofyism.
It's not an ism. It is called
Oofy-doofy theory.
Okay.
Post-Incel theory, and we are. It's coming soon. We're publishing the thing about it.
Wait,
August
are you a crusader of this movement, or are you against it? That's what I'm saying.
He's like a nihilist. He's basically saying we need to take the black pill and just accept the future. The night is dark.
We need to take the black pill. Okay, listen. I am not myself an incel, nor will I. Do I plan on being or whatever? But the thing is, I want to help out the incels. To be honest, that is one of the things I've been doing for the past few years. So I think I should be continuing doing so. But
all right, but hold on, August. My problem is not the premise, but the conclusion you arrive at. I don't like the post-incel theory needs to have a normative conclusion. There needs to be a message, and I just feel like your message is nihilistic.
Fine. No,
and you don't understand, August. You need to read Lacan because you don't understand the rebirth of the master signifier, which is underway.
You maybe are right about that, and that as far as the actual normative essence of it needs to be distilled more into some kind of positive thing. However, I am merely describing whenever I'm talking about the gender juche thing, and women impregnating themselves with their own bone marrow or whatever. I'm describing essentially the goal of these people, right? This is what Klaus Schwab when he's jacking off.
I understand that. I understand this very
Actually,
well.
do not imagine Klaus Schwab jacking off. I'm sorry. But basically, when you have these people doing this, right, and this is their vision, I am merely describing what their vision is. Now, obviously, I don't hope this happens or whatever, Now, Caleb might hope this happens because he's into femdom, but, we're not Caleb. But at the end of the day, we have to recognize that gender juche, even though it has the word juche, is pretty cringe. We're not fucking with that.
Why did you call it gender juche? Why does it have to be called that?
It is
self-reliance.
Self-reliance, essentially.
Why don't you just call it? Why don't you call it fem juche?
Because
why you no
because it's also non-binary. The women.
No, non-binary is just feminine. A man can't be non-binary. Non-binary basically means.
Here's the thing. Sure, but I'm being inclusive. Besides, that's not what they would call it. They'd probably just call it gender freedom, and that's a stupid word, So
but no, you should call it female juche.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, that's
you
fucking
have to find
satanic.
a better.
Anyways,
gender juche sounds based, dude. You can't call it that. It just sounds based optically.
Actually,
guys.
That's the deceptive quality. I kind of like that it has a bizarre
Bro, no one gives a fuck about the name. Listen, let me interject here for a bit. Let me interject.
Alright, let Hedyarist talk because he never talked this whole time.
Final one. Usually we have a different name for it, fem fascism. But I like
fascism sounds more realistic.
Hedyarist, go for it.
That's a fucking black pill of the future. You guys are this is way in the future. Look, if we don't do anything about this Oofy-doofy theory is fucking scary. Just so you guys know, it's very scary. And I'll actually explain. I can give you guys a regional example of this, right?
Go ahead.
If we go the current road, you know what they protest in Iran, bro? You know when they talk about woman life freedom, right?
Yeah.
That's what they chant, right? And it's not about men death dictatorship, which Aliev Science stands for. We stand for that. That's our whole motto and all that. We invented that reverse slogan, right? If we go the Oofy-doofy road, we will become Kurds. And do you know what Kurds do? Pause. You don't know what Kurds do.
Kurds.
Oh
No,
my God, I love
listen.
this.
You
You
don't.
wanna?
Yes. I'm gonna drop the nuke. You know what
This is
Kurds
so
do?
disgusting.
Haze. Yeah, get the fuck. Close your ears, you fucking
explain.
baby.
Explain what you mean.
Kurds have the practice of penis cracking, where the woman cracks the penis of the man.